Gonna be doing the water pump on my daughter's car. So I'll get to it right now. One of my family trips, I had to take my subwoofer box out too. So I'll be loading that back in. There's a reason why I'm doing this video is because nobody really shows how to do it on a Scion XD. This one is hovering around 200,000 miles, so it's pretty beat up. Needs valve cover gaskets, motor mounts, needs a lot of things of detail. We replaced the alternator like 3 years ago, so that one's okay. But the thing that we need to do now is loosen up the alternator, remove the bracket, remove the alternator, then that gives you access to the water pump, which is right below it, down there. And then start removing that. But this is a lot harder than the Corollas because you don't have that much space between that frame right there and the bolts that you're taking out. I think there's a total of like 4 inches from there to there, so it's a lot of wrenching here and trying to get all this stuff out of the tough spot. Sorry. So yeah, we're gonna get started. We'll start draining the fluid and we'll see how long it takes. First thing we're gonna do is jack it up so there's more space to work with. If you look under these cars, like right behind the front wheel, and you look at the frame rails right here, there's always this pinch wheel right here. It's like kind of not here. You can see people already jacked it up from here. You jack it up from here, it's a little thickened edge for you to jack up from this point. So that's where you want to jack up from. I want to give it some height just in case I need to drop the motor a little. I'm gonna have the clearance to do so. So you're also gonna get your jack stand in. Safety first, remember that. Okay. So there we go. You can see how it doesn't bend from there. Very well. Put my jack stand for support. I want to get it as close as possible to the. Okay, that should be fine. Locking pin. Safety first. Safety first and always. Okay. There we go. Alright, so I got a 12 shorty. Let's try this again. Okay. Here we go. Alright, so I loosened this one up here, the bracket and the alternator. It doesn't want to relieve tension on the serpentine belt, so I'm just gonna loosen up a little bit on the bottom bolt, which is down there. It's this one I'm gonna try to get. I don't know if it's a nut or a bolt. I'm gonna try to circle it on the video editing. Technically this one I'm trying to get my head on. There you go. So this one, and then we'll see what that does. I'll be working on that bolt down there. Ooh, it's gonna be a tough one. Can't put my hand in there. little bit. 2 clicks. Okay, after about an hour, half hour of struggling, you do have to loosen up the bottom bolt on the alternator, which I just did. I loosened the bottom bolt, and now it was able to move and relieve tension on the belt. See? So you have to this is your locking nut on the bottom, and then this is your wheel that tightens tension, and then your bottom bolt. So what you need to do is loosen this one, then loosen a little bit of the bottom bolt, then you could mess with your tension. Yeah. So now to unravel the serpentine belt. Hopefully you guys are able to see there. I'm gonna record and take some pictures of the routing with my other phone. For now, let's see video before I start pulling stuff apart, because I don't see a diagram on the serpentine belt anywhere here. Nope. Go this way, and now I'm gonna go on the bottom and record, and maybe draw it out for you guys. Okay. So this is how it is in the bottom. We got these two. It goes in behind the water pump, comes back out at the alternator, which you can't really see here, but so it goes in, back out, so in, back out to the alternator, and then comes down on this side. So yeah, so it's a bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4 pulleys total. So that's our routes. Hopefully you guys are able to see it here. So the only place it goes in is on the water pump, and then everything else is on the outside. So I'm just gonna go ahead and loosen it up now. Bring it over this. There you go. There you go. And that's it. I can bring it out through the top. Hopefully it doesn't get caught on anything else. Okay, here we are. And as you can see, it just goes from the alternator straight out to the other pulley on the bottom. Nothing else in between. Okay, let's go ahead and pull it out through here. Little jam here. There you go. That was still okay. It was squealing for a while though. I think it wasn't tightened correctly. Oh well. So that's that. I'm gonna work on removing the alternator now from here. That's that. I'm gonna work on removing the alternator now from here. Okay. You don't want to tighten it, you don't want to lose it. Alright, so I finally got that shit loose. Got one on my tool stuck, so I had to get the motor mount and then lift it up to be able to get it unjammed. But both bolts are out of the alternator. It should come out. Before I unclip any of the electrical, these clips right here, I'm going to unplug the battery. So just take a 10mm, unplug the negative. You should be good to go. Almost forgot to record this. That's a 10mm as well. So just want to get your 10mm on there. Make sure you don't drop it. Should be out already. Put it over here. There we go. And that cable should come off now. There you go. And then just unclipping the other one. Not sure on this one how it goes clipped. Let's see if I can feel for it clip. I think I need to press down on the sides. Okay. Let's go back up over here. Okay, yeah, press down on the sides. Right here. Just squeeze down and it releases. And that should be ready to come out. There you go. Try to bring it out this way. And then through this hole right here. So let me work on that. And I'll get back to you guys. Alright, I just had like a frustrating hour. The level of disassembly you need to do on this one to take this fucking alternator out, because the space is so tight with the AC hoses, it doesn't come out without loosening this bracket with this bolt right here. And this bolt is right next to the motor mount bracket, which you need to remove for you to be able to get access to this bolt. So yeah, I had to support it with another jack and fucking pain in the ass, to be honest with you, just to get one fucking bolt out to be able to get the alternator out. So that's what I'm working on. I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Right, even with all that out, it's still a tight fit. So this bolt, just to mention, is a 17mm. I use an impact driver to get it out. And these are also 17mm. This one you need a long, oh sorry, these are 17mm, and this one you need a long socket to get it out. So that's how you would take the motor mount bracket off. That's your motor mount. I also loosened it up to be able to wiggle the bracket off, but I'm gonna put it back in. I wanted to also replace these motor mounts because they're too wiggly now, you know. And I think transmission mount as well on this side. I can't really see everything so cramped in here, but it's back there somewhere. Can't really tell from here, but I'll try to get a better look at it from possibly from the bottom. Can't tell right now from right here where it's really mounted to, or if it's on the front side. Can't tell, to be honest. Yeah, can't see it. Oh well. And then there's a rear one I'll show you guys later, or upload some pictures. I already took pictures of the one in the back. But here's your water pump. It's gonna be these 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and then there's 2 more in the back that I'll probably access through the bottom. And your thermostat housing is this. Just need to remove these 2, take out the hose, and you should be good to go. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start draining the radiator fluid. Oh yeah, I ended up removing the front bumper. Forgot to mention that. I was trying to get the alternator out through here and also wasn't able to get it out through here, so it was just a waste of time, to be honest with you. Took all these bolts out, so that's why I'm not gonna mention it in the video, because you really don't need to remove it. What you need to remove is that bracket. So Yeah, I was trying to save some. Having to jack it up and get the other jack on here, and it ended up backfiring. So you guys don't do that. Just remove the bracket. It's gonna be your best bet. And even if you have to lower the motor later to remove the there's the freaking hole. I need to remove this one too. Where's the screws on this? There's one more over there. Okay, so hold on, let me remove this. I loosened it up enough to put the pan down there, and there's a little release tab to bring your radiator fluid. So I'll be doing that right now. Just loosen this and it'll drip down into your pan. There it is. Loosened it up, let's drip it into the pan. I've been adding water, so that's why you might see it a little light. Alright, so I ended up putting the motor mount back on. I didn't tighten it all the way, just tight enough for it to hold, because I removed the jack. I'm gonna need the space down there to work, so I couldn't have the jack down there holding the motor mount. I mean the motor in place, so tightened it for now. If I need to, if I can't take the water pump out, then I'll go ahead and loosen it up again and lower the motor mount to be able to remove the water pump. And the thermostat. The thermostat, I'm gonna access it through the front, so it shouldn't interfere too bad. Still draining over here. I'm gonna go ahead and just cap it already. I think most of it is out already. So I'll go ahead and cap it and then move the pan over here because it's gonna leak once I start moving everything from here. Like I said, you don't need to remove the front bumper. I did, and the positive of that is that now I have good access to the thermostat housing right here. So I think I'm gonna work on that first.
Let's see. There's a 10 millimeter. 10. There's a 10 millimeter. Alright, here goes a mess. It's done pretty well, hopefully.
Looks like it was still sealing, so maybe it wasn't leaking from here. So probably it is gonna be the water pump, but I can't see anything in terms of a breach. Maybe right there in the bottom. So we'll go ahead and seal it up, clean it up, get the new thermostat in. So that'll be that. Oh, sorry. Try to get a better look at the thermostat right there. So you want the floaty right there to be on top. That's how you want to start your new one. 82 degrees Celsius. Maybe it was leaking. You can kind of see right here some residue on the side. So could be that it was already failing. So we'll go ahead and pull it out. I need some pliers. I'll pull it out. Get you guys back in. the seal stayed in place. So the seal didn't come out. I had to get that out. Here it is. The seal. Does look like it was leaking a little. You see some dry up residue. So maybe it was already giving way. I know it's blocking your view, but technically what I'm just doing with a microfiber, swiping down the edge. Make sure we have a clean mating surface for the new seal. As well as I gotta wipe the face on this. Make sure we're sealing correctly. You don't want any loose debris hitting the gap. So you want to put the seal on the thermostat. It has like a groove for it to slide in. Just make sure you get it on pretty straight. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, show you once it's done. Once you feel like you have it seated, kind of like this, just take your time, due diligence, to kind of just give it like a little lift on each side. Walk it all around, make sure it's in good and even on both sides, because if not, you won't seal correctly and you'll have a leak. So just take your time doing this, that way you don't have to redo it in a week or two. And when you go to place it back in, this one has the floaty inside. Just make sure that that ends up facing the same way the other one was, which is up, or else you're gonna have overheating issues with your vehicle overheating. So place it in, the floaty's up. Yeah. Okay. Once you center it and have it placed correctly, you gotta slide your housing back on. And then start grabbing your bolts in hand tight. Don't do it too much. Try to create even pressure. So one. Do the other. Give them another little hand tight just to make sure they're on there good. Okay. We're done with the thermostat. We're gonna move on to the water pump now. Alright, so I'm listening up the water pump. I got these 12 millimeters right here. And then this one. And then you gotta move over to this one and the other one, which might be accessible better to the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the bolts, and then I'm gonna go ahead and loosen them up. Already got that one loosened up. I need to move that way, and that one in the back, and that bottom one. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Back to the bottom to get some of the lower bolts. So I'm gonna remove the wheel just to make my life a little bit easier. So I was wrong. There's a fourth bolt down here. Let me get this to focus. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then the other 2 on top. Okay, I got the water pump loose, and I think this is what they mean it doesn't come out, because it hits right there. It'll bring it up to the top, and then it hits the side when you try to bring it out the bottom. So you might need to drop the engine a little bit for it to come out. I'm gonna continue tackling it and see if I can get it out. We'll see. Put you guys over here. Okay, they're right. So it's not coming out. I am gonna have to drop the motor mount. So let's go ahead and do that now. See if I can get you guys up here this time. All right.
So it came out. I'll do a quick work of this. Now I'm just gonna wipe it, clean it, and then put the new one in.
Okay, once you clean your surface as best as possible, you're ready to put the gasket back in how it was. So let me go ahead and do that. So I went and washed my hands before doing this. So this is a new gasket. It has this little sharp point right here that indicates the bottom. So that's how you have to put it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in and then start recording again. My phone's gonna die soon too, so I don't know if I'm gonna get the whole putting back together. You go ahead and put the water pump back in. Once you press it in, put your new water pump and then you seal with that gasket. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. Once you get it all lined up and all those screws, you gotta finger tighten them in, and then you wanna start going one on here, one on the other side with minimum pressure. And then once you get all of them kind of in an X pattern tightened, then you go ahead and torque all of them. That way you don't create uneven pressure on the gasket. So that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, so I got everything back together. The belt layout is how I explained it. It goes all the way around to the bottom ones, comes up, goes behind the water pump, and comes back up in front of the thermostat. So hopefully you guys can see that. It goes behind the water pump and then goes over the bottom ones. And that's it. It's only 4 pulleys. It's 1, 2, 3. They're all over, and then it goes inside on the water pump, which is this one right here, and then 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna connect this back together and put the bumper back on and call it a day. I didn't record the reassembly because it's just backwards from everything I just disassembled, but hopefully you'll find that this was instructive enough to get this done. It is a pain in the ass due to it being so tight in space here, but if it were a Corolla, it'd be like a 1-2 hour job max. Instead, I'm running on already 4 hours on this job site, so probably be 5 by the time I'm done. But yeah, make sure you make some time for this if you're gonna do it yourself. All right, my iPhone died, but I'm gonna finish off the video. I topped off already. I cleaned off where it was leaking before. Cleaned it off to see if anything else leaks. We'll be able to notice right away. So I cleaned all that off. As of right now, nothing's leaking. This is from earlier. When I washed off the radiator fluid residue. But so far so good. The car's been running for 20 minutes. This is why I need water mount. I don't know if you can see that shaking. Look at that. Motor shakes a lot. That's why I think we need to put some new motor mounts. I don't know how well the video's capturing it. Oh well, hopefully it catches it. Got it back together, no leaks. Pain in the ass. Started like at 9 in the morning. Currently it's about 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, it's about 2:30, so yeah, that's how many hours it took me.